Sophia sat on a park bench in downtown Los Angeles, wrapped in a tattered blanket, clutching a steaming paper cup of coffee like it was made of gold. Around her, the world bustled with holiday energy, shoppers laden with bags, children pointing at the sparkling window displays, lovers holding gloved hands. But for Sophia, Christmas had become just another day to survive. She had once had a home, a job, dreams. A promising art student with a laugh like summer rain, she lost everything in the slow collapse that follows too many unlucky turns. First her mother passed, then her landlord raised the rent. Jobs were scarce. Depression whispered lies into her ears. And before she knew it, Sophia was invisible, just another person on the street people looked past. Until one cold afternoon, everything changed. A sleek black car pulled up beside the curb. Out stepped a man in his 40s, tall, tailored, with the air of someone used to being in control. He approached Sophia cautiously, his expression unreadable. "Excuse me," he said, his voice deep but gentle. "May I sit for a moment?" She blinked at him, confused. People didn't ask to sit with her. They crossed the street. He sat anyway. "My name is Adrian Hale," he said. "I know this is going to sound strange. But I'm looking for someone. And I believe you might be the person I've been searching for." Sophia narrowed her eyes, her instincts kicking in. "I don't do drugs. I don't sell anything. And I'm not looking for trouble." He shook his head. "It's none of that. Please. Just hear me out." Reluctantly, she nodded. Adrian took a breath. "I'm a businessman. I've built everything I have from scratch. But life, as you probably know, doesn't always go as planned. My wife, she passed 2 years ago. Cancer. We tried for years to have children, but we couldn't. Now she's gone, and the only thing I have left of her is a letter. In it, she begged me not to give up on becoming a father." He looked away, composing himself. "I could adopt. I could hire a surrogate. But I want something more real. My wife believed in second chances. In doing something that mattered. So I set out to find someone who needed a second chance too." He turned to her. "I want to pay you, no strings attached, to carry my child. I will take care of everything, housing, food, clothes, medical care. I'll even give you a life after, help you start fresh. All I ask is that you consider being a surrogate. I will raise the child. But you'll have a chance to rebuild." Sophia stared at him, stunned. "Why me?" she asked. "Because," he said simply, "you remind me of her. Not the way you look, but the fire. I can see it. You've just forgotten it's still burning." It took Sophia 2 days to say yes. Months passed. True to his word, Adrian placed her in a small, sunlit apartment overlooking Echo Park. A social worker helped her reconnect with health services. She began eating real food again, taking daily walks, reading poetry by the window. She painted for the first time in years. And somewhere between prenatal visits and late-night conversations, Sophia started to laugh again. Adrian, once a distant figure in a tailored suit, became a friend. He brought her decaf lattes, asked about her paintings, told her stories about his wife, about how she'd leave sticky notes in his shoes to make him smile. "I think she would have liked you," he said one evening. Sophia smiled softly. "I think I would have liked her, too." As the baby grew, so did something inside Sophia. Not attachment, she knew this wasn't her child to keep, but something harder to name. Maybe it was hope. Maybe it was healing. And then came the night everything shifted. Sophia went into labor 2 weeks early. Adrian rushed her to the hospital, holding her hand through every contraction. Hours later, a baby boy was born, healthy and perfect, with his mother's eyes and his father's dimpled chin. But when the nurse tried to hand him to Adrian, he didn't move. He was crying. I can't," he whispered. "I thought I could. But I can't do this alone." Sophia, still weak from delivery, stared at him. What are you saying? I thought giving this child a future was enough. But he deserves more than a future. He deserves love. A mother. Not a lonely man drowning in work and grief. He sat beside her, the baby now cradled in her arms. I thought I was giving you a second chance, Adrian said, voice breaking. But maybe you were giving me one. 3 weeks later, a different black car pulled up in front of a small craftsman house on a quiet tree-lined street. Inside, Sophia hung a mobile above a white crib. She turned as Adrian walked in with groceries. Diapers, formula, and your weird kale chips, he said with a smirk. She grinned. Thank you. Don't thank me. We're in this together, remember? They had spent long nights talking after the birth, re-evaluating everything. Adrian, it turned out, didn't want to give the baby up for adoption, and Sophia didn't want to walk away from the tiny life that had rekindled her own. So, they made a new plan, one no contract could have predicted. They would raise him together. Not as lovers. Not even as a traditional family. But as two people bound by love, compassion, and the miracle of a second chance. Years passed. The boy, named Luca, grew up in a home filled with books, laughter, and the smell of pancakes on Saturday mornings. Sophia started selling her paintings again, with Adrian converting part of the house into a studio. Adrian reduced his hours at work, becoming the father he never thought he could be. They attended school plays together, danced in the living room, and cried when Luca asked why he had two parents but they didn't kiss. We're a different kind of family, Sophia explained gently. One made with kindness and choice. And love? Luca asked. Adrian smiled. Especially love. One summer evening, after Luca had gone to bed, Adrian and Sophia sat on the porch, watching fireflies. I still don't know why you said yes, Adrian said softly. Sophia looked at him, the glow of the porch light warming her face. Because I knew what it felt like to be lost, she replied. And something in your eyes told me you did too. They sat in silence for a moment, hearts full. I don't know what I would have done without you, he added. She reached for his hand. Luckily, you'll never have to find out. Final note. Sometimes, second chances come wrapped in unexpected forms, a stranger's kindness, a leap of faith, a newborn's cry. We often think healing happens alone, but the truth is, we heal best together. Sophia and Adrian didn't find what they were looking for. They found something better. A chosen family, a new beginning, and the kind of love that transcends romance, money, and even time. And for a boy named Luca, that made all the difference. Because home isn't always a place. Sometimes, it's people.